Now at 10, there's some promising news in Missouri's wastewater system. And residents of a southeast Kansas mobile home park say they're being forced out.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
New data from wastewater testing shows COVID-19 cases dropping dramatically in Missouri. This is KOAM News at 10. Experts fear that Omicron would be similar to Delta, remaining high for weeks, and the case numbers would only slowly taper off. That is not the case. Raw data at Kansas City's Blue River facility shows the state is back to numbers seen in December and quickly dropping. Wastewater testing helps provide the clearest trend because it's unbiased. Samples come from everyone who uses the sewer system. Experts continue to watch a few variants that could surge, but so far they haven't developed into much of a threat. The deadly COVID Delta variant has all but disappeared in the U.S. Today, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention released data on new COVID cases. The agency says there are no new Delta variant cases in the most recent week. The CDC also reports that the Omicron variant now accounts for 100% of new cases, COVID cases in the U.S. A newer sub-variant of Omicron called BA.2 is estimated to make up 3.6% of those new cases. The CDC's report looked at new COVID cases between January 30th and February 5th nationwide. More states plan to roll back mask restrictions. The governor of New York is expected tomorrow to repeal the indoor mask mandate for businesses and could allow schools to do the same by the end of the month if cases continue to drop. Reporter Elise Preston has more.
This was the contentious scene at one school board meeting in Illinois after a judge halted the state's school mask mandates, leaving districts to decide for themselves.
And you're sitting here causing a scene like this with no mask on?
With only about 40% of 5 to 17-year-olds fully vaccinated, the CDC still recommends indoor masking in schools, regardless of vaccination status. But New Jersey, Delaware, Connecticut, and Oregon have all announced plans to lift mandates. California will still require masking in schools, but will remove the requirement for vaccinated individuals in indoor public spaces starting next week.
Let's all get back to normal already. Jeez Louise.
Nationwide cases are about 70% lower than at January's peak, but weekly cases among children are still over 100,000 and are 400% higher than this time last year.
I am fully confident that it will be safe to have kids take masks off in school, particularly in schools that have high vaccination rates. My worry is that we're not quite there yet.
Pandemic fatigue and frustration isn't just impacting schools, it's hitting hospitals too.
Every day I read about reports in which my staff are either verbally or physically abused.
At this hospital in Georgia, Dr. Gregory Evans says with each wave of COVID, there's also a flood of aggression.
What do those verbal attacks look like?
Accusations why we aren't given certain medications that they may have researched on the internet.
Dr. Lily Henson says when hospitals are full of patients that don't trust science, it's a dagger to morale.
We get this threat that says, if my loved one dies, it's your fault. That's really heartbreaking.
The CDC says the Biden administration is preparing to roll out 10 million doses for children as young as 6 months old, assuming the FDA grants Pfizer the emergency authorization and the CDC signs off. Kids could get the shots as early as later this month. Checking in with Doug Heddy now for a first look at the weather.
Well, it turned out to be a fantastic day for us today. Lower 60s. 4 highs in the first third of February. Not too bad. 62 started at 35. Normal high for this time of the year is 48 degrees. We do have a weak little front that is rolling through, so we have some clouds with it, but not really seeing much underneath the clouds. And we're going to have these fast-moving weak little waves as we go through the next few days. But it's not going to affect our temperatures too much. We're mainly upper 30s to lower 40s right now. I think we'll back down near 30 later on tonight. We have these kind of light northerly winds kicking in behind the front. Again, not a huge deal. So 30 or so by morning, 42 by 9, 55 by noon, right back to 60 during the afternoon. So another good day on Wednesday. We're going to look at the rest of the week, our next storm system here in just a bit.
See you then. The Kansas Corporation Commission approves a settlement for Kansas Gas Service to recover costs from last year's winter weather. The gas service says it lost $366 million during the deep freeze in February of 2021. Under the settlement, KGS will apply for securitized utility tariff bonds, which allows utilities to pay large costs at more favorable financing terms. Customers are expected to pay around $5 to $7 more per month for 5 to 10 years. Residents of a mobile home park in Weir, Kansas have 60 days now to pack up their things and find a new home. Residents of the Bradford estate say they received letters on February 1st saying Scannell Properties has taken ownership of the mobile home park. It states they have until April 1st to pack up their belongings and leave. About 14 homes are on the property. Now residents say they're scrambling to figure out their next steps.
There's not that many home movers in the area, and we got 14 families that need moved and 14 homes that need moved. The temporary camping people, some of them been here for years, as long as we have.
Scannell is offering residents $1,000 to cover the current cost of moving and say they'll send an additional $4,000 once residents can prove they're moved off the property. This property is just south of the site of the future FedEx ground distribution center, although we have not been able to confirm the reason for the purchase. You're going to want to be extra cautious driving in the area of 32nd Street and Schifferdecker Avenue in Joplin tomorrow morning. A utility truck will be parked there as crews make adjustments to the traffic light. The intersection will remain open with traffic control devices and the lights will be in flash mode. Still ahead, what a proposed merger of two low-cost airlines could mean for the industry. And later, two of the best teams in Kansas square off as Frontenac hosts Galena. Jacob Leonard has the highlights in sports. French President Emmanuel Macron says Russian President Vladimir Putin told him that Moscow would not further escalate the Ukraine crisis. Macron also said it would take time to find a diplomatic solution to the rising tensions. His remarks on a visit to Kiev came after the Kremlin denied reports that he and Putin struck a deal during marathon talks yesterday on de-escalating the crisis. Moscow has amassed more than 100,000 troops near Ukraine's borders, but insists it has no plans to attack. Frontier Airlines has announced it plans to buy Spirit Airlines for a reported nearly $3 billion. The deal would create the nation's fifth largest carrier and, according to the companies, give travelers more options. Reporter Jen Sullivan has more on the major merger.
Frontier and Spirit joining forces. The two largest low-cost airlines in the U.S. are hoping to merge.
They have very similar business models, very low fares, fees for all the extras, things even like carry-on bags, but they are overall generally the cheapest way to fly.
And if the deal is approved, it would create the fifth largest airline in the nation. But what does this mega merger mean for flyers?
Probably not a good thing for the average American flyer, simply because having more airlines and more competition in the market generally drives down lower fares.
It's very rarely the case that airline mergers are good for the consumer, at least in the narrowest sense.
Experts agree that fares aren't likely to get any lower. It's still unclear what brand the two companies would fly under, but Frontier says the combined company would offer more than 1,000 daily flights to over 145 destinations. And travel experts say the merger could give travelers more options to fly to mid-sized cities as well as underserved regions.
You might start to see a lot of Caribbean islands that maybe never had budget service before. You might start to see a lot more interesting options to Mexico or to Central America.
Frontier and Spirit say the deal will allow them to grow and hire more employees. But before it becomes a reality, the merger has to be approved by federal antitrust regulators.
You don't have to worry about this in the context of your summer 2022 travel plans. It's going to take time for this merger to be approved by the Department of Justice.
For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
The Biden administration, though, recently blocked an alliance between American and JetBlue that fell short of full merger, citing antitrust issues. Later in sports, the four-state area is full of athletic talent, which is why we have more collegiate signings to get to.
Plus, it looks like a chilly night for us tonight, but of course, we're going to look at the rest of the week coming up. Well, it turned out to be a nice day for us today. Temperatures fantastic, lower 60s for highs, and it looks like another pretty good day for us tomorrow as well. Let's look at the rest of the month. These are only big systems. We have a lot of little systems, but next Wednesday and Thursday, a stronger storm system will roll in. This will most likely give us rain, maybe over to some snow, and then not far after it, on the 21st and 22nd, we have a rain or snow system. Another bigger system at the end of the month, 27th and 28th. Looks like mainly thunderstorms, and then another snow chance at the beginning of March. Of course, you can always get my long range forecast. Month-long blog, KOAMnewsnow.com. Looks good. Indigo sky. Pretty good outside right now. It's nice and quiet. We have partly cloudy skies across the region. Temperatures for us today did go lower 60s during the afternoon. We had a weak little front that dropped through, so our temperatures have dropped off a bit. Most of us right now are sitting upper 30s to lower 40s. I think most of us are going to bottom out near 40 a little bit later on tonight. Weak little front sliding through, so that's why we have these light northwesterly winds kicking in. They're going to stay fairly light tonight, a little bit on the breezy side for us tomorrow. 7th and range line looking a notch toward the north and to the west. 44 westerly winds. Humidity is not bad, sitting at 55%. A few little clouds kind of sneaking through with that weak little front. Nothing really underneath the clouds. So we look fine, but we have a lot of weak little systems kind of lining up to our north and to our west. So we're going to have 2 or 3 of these weak little waves as we go through the rest of the week. They're dropping from the northwest due to a northwesterly flow, meaning the flow is out of the northwest. However, no big storm systems, at least over about the next 5 or 6 days. Just these weak little guys kind of pushing through. Let's break it down. Let's go through tonight, dropping back right around 30 for an overnight low. Tomorrow looks good. It's going to be a little breezy, but we still get near 60 during the afternoon. Here's your forecast. 31 to start, 55 by noon. High temp is 60, westerly winds light at about 10 to 20. Tomorrow night, another one of those weak waves. Clouds increase. You can see a few sprinkles. Maybe a random flurry tries to get in late tomorrow night and into Thursday morning. And then the clouds push right on through and we look pretty good again by the time we head into Thursday afternoon. A little bit cooler, but we're still going to go into lower 50s for highs. Back to the 60s by Friday. Here comes another cold front. Along the front, Friday evening, Friday night into Saturday morning, a few showers, maybe a few random snow showers. Does not look like a big deal at this point in time. Quite a bit colder on Saturday, back to near 50 on Super Bowl Sunday. So if you're traveling around the region, heading to Super Bowl parties, looks fine. Then another storm system by the middle of next week. All right, let's go 60 tomorrow, 52 on Thursday, 64 on Thursday, 52 Thursday, 64 on Friday. Whew, that was rough. 35 Saturday, 50 on Sunday, back into the 60s on Valentine's Day.
It might have been a little rough, but the temperatures look pretty smooth.
Yeah, they
for a few
do. Look
days.
pretty good.
You bet. Thanks, Doug. The Neosho Area Chamber of Commerce tonight hosted an EPIC event. EPIC is a networking group for professionals under age 40. The event was a chance for people to enjoy drinks, win prizes, and meet new people.
It's super, super awesome. I was born and raised here and came back after college, and so just to be able to build these kinds of relationships with other professionals is really important to me, and also just to foster positivity in our community. It's super awesome.
Attendees were encouraged to invite new members to EPIC. The person who referred the most people won $50 in chamber bucks at today's event. Coming up in sports, a pair of Carthage football standouts signed to continue their careers in college. And Frontenac and Galena square off in a battle of 2 of the best teams in Southeast Kansas. Jacob Leonard has that and more next.
Well, 2 of the best boys basketball teams in Southeast Kansas meet tonight in Frontenac, with the Raiders hosting the Galena Bulldogs. Coming into the day, the Raiders are 10-3, while Galena is 13-1 and ranked 4th in the state. Frontenac aiming for the season sweep after beating the Bulldogs in Galena a month ago. Early on, Colin McCartney in the lane, nice and patient, gets the short jumper to go. Galena, though, goes on a run to end the quarter. Brett Sarwinski knocks down the 3. He scores 7 in the first, finishes with a team-high 16 Galena by 6. Then second quarter, big dude, but he's pretty smooth. Tyler Little jumper. 8 in the first half for Little. Bulldogs up 8 at the break. More from Tyler Little in the third. Scoring and the foul. Galena quickly puts the lead at double digits. Little scores 15. To the fourth, Raiders make a little run. Trey Kramer steals and goes the other way, but Galena doesn't let him back in it. Bulldogs roll tonight 56-36. In the girls' game earlier in the night, it's Frontenac winning 55-44. Hattie Pyle scores a team-high 18 for the Raiders. Heather Arnett adds 14. Frontenac has won 3 straight games and is now 8-4 this season. The Missouri Southern Lions finish up their first home series of the season today against Winona State. On Monday, the Lions took the first 2 games of the series, winning Game 1 13-1 and Game 2 15-9. The 2 teams back on the field for the finale this afternoon. Southern looking for the 3-game sweep. It's the Warriors getting on the board first. This is Derek Baumgardner putting it down the left field line. Brings a run home. Winona State actually gets 2 in the first. Big response, though, for Southern in the bottom half. 2 on for Tommy Stevenson. Dude had a huge series. 3-run jack for Stevenson, his 4th homer of the series. Lions have their first lead. Later on, same inning, Matt Miller going the opposite way. Burns a dude out there and left. That scores Clay Milas and Tragan Parker. 6-2 Southern after 1. Then in the third, Parker, the freshman and Webb City product, lifts this one up and out to right. It's his first career homer for the Lions. Parker had a monster day. He goes 3 for 4, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. Southern wins a high-scoring game here, 20-12. Pittsburg State also in action today, facing Northern State in their final game of the UCO First Pitch Classic. That one's final. Gorillas win at 12-7. Garrett McGowan, nice afternoon. He goes 3 for 4 with 2 home runs and 5 RBIs. Today's a big day for 4 Lamar High School student athletes. All of them signed this afternoon to continue their careers at the college level. Haley Sheed is crossing the state line to Kansas to cheer at Fort Scott Community College. Kylie Talbot headed to Cotty College to continue her volleyball career. And on the football field, Trace Wilhite and Mason Gastel signed to stay teammates. Both guys going to be headed to Joplin to play for the Missouri Southern Lions.
Personal goals are just for me to get better, make friends and stuff like that. And then as a team, it's win a whole lot more games than they have before.
Just to get a feel on what I want to do in my future. Well, I'm going to go in and get my business degree, and that'll be a deciding factor if I want to go to cosmetology school or not.
I'm really excited for the season. I know already a few girls. I practice or play with one of them. We have a really good passer. I know we're going to have a great setter, so I'm just really excited.
Right now I'm defensive back, but they said I could be moving to safety if I gain a little bit more pounds. It's different than what I would have expected, but I'm ready to take on that challenge.
To Carthage now, 2 more local football players signing to play at the next level in Gavin Van Gilder and Garrett Lillienkamp. Both of these guys play on the offensive line in college. Van Gilder signs to join the football program at Mid-American Nazarene. Lillienkamp is going to Division II, signing today to play at Harding University in Arkansas. Now they both credit the Carthage program for getting them ready for the next level.
Coach Gowdy gave me an opportunity to play as a sophomore. That really did boost me and help me out, put me ahead of the pack. I'm very grateful for this place. It's a winning program. Definitely helped me get my name out there, especially with all the coaches. Coach Gus coming in and very much shaped me. Being our new O-line coach my junior year, and it's helped me out a lot. This coaching staff's one of the best in the state.
Yeah, just playing for Carthage, you're going to play. This is the best football in Missouri, so you're going to be ready for everything. One thing Coach Gowdy always teaches is just be ready for adversity. So first year of college, moving in and playing with a whole different squad, that's a lot of adversity, and I feel like I'll be ready for that.
And that's it for sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Technical Sergeant Learville Schlussman served in the U.S. Army during World War II. It's from Neosho, Missouri, and we are proud to salute Technical Sergeant Learville Schlussman. He's tonight's 4-state hero. Valentine's Day is almost here, and that means a busy time for candy stores. KOAM's Jalen Banks has more on how a Joplin candy store is doing this Valentine's season.
February is here again, and with that comes Valentine's Day. Candy House Gourmet is gearing up for another busy Valentine's season. Valentine's season is the second busiest for Candy House, and is something that is not slowing up. According to the National Retail Federation, Valentine's Day spending is up $2 billion more than it was a year ago, and shoppers are expected to spend an average of $175 on Valentine's gifts, which is also up from a year ago, due in part to navigating out of the pandemic.
You know, we really enjoy Valentine's Day as a whole just because it is such a small, short season, and we look forward to our returning customers and our new customers.
Candy House is a long-standing staple in Joplin that has served delicious candy for decades. They have the luxury of having their manufacturing facility in the same building as the store, only separated by glass windows, a view that has continued to draw people in.
We make custom candy for people. There's a lot of things that we do to make the customer feel wanted and very important.
In Joplin, Jalen Banks, KOAM News.
Candy House is at 510 Kentucky Avenue in Joplin. If you haven't been there, do yourself a favor.
Oh, it's super good.
Yeah, it absolutely is. The weather looking nice.
It does. Chilly tonight or cold, 31 for an overnight low, back to 60 tomorrow. Hair cooler Thursday, 64 on Friday.
Final sports note.
Missouri Southern's Tommy Stevenson in a 3-game sweep over Winona State. 7 for 11, had a double, 4 home runs in just 3 games, and 9 RBIs. If that's not the MIAA Player of the Week, I don't know what is.
That would be tough to beat for sure. Thanks for joining us. Morning Show, 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.